quite diverse and overlapping, and it varies between laws and various codes. But it's becoming more challenging because of the new and evolving technologies and channels, and platforms and audiences. Digital. So going right back to the start, 1905, as the idea of advertising was developing, it's acknowledged the first kind of idea about salesmanship in print. But this is very helpful, I think, because even today, because in advertising, what we're talking about is persuading and promoting and selling, and given reasons why the customer wants your product, even if they don't yet know why. And this has relevance when we look to how it's regulated. So I'm going to focus on above the line advertising. So mass media, press, TV, radio, etc. Below the line, one-to-one, direct marketing, online advertising has its own set of complex rules. But just principles point of view, we look at ATL. So above the line is regulated by hard law and codes. And obviously, if you get it wrong, there's all kinds of consequences, which I presume are quite self-evident, I think. And the main body you need to know about, and they have a really, really good website, is the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. And they're the enforcers. Any food business should spend some time familiarizing themselves with the website and the various guides and documents that they have available on that website. And the main legislation involved is the Consumer Protection Acts. And there's three types of commercial practices that are prohibited and they're offences. That includes advertising and marketing. And so the first type is unfair, and the second is misleading, and the third is aggressive. There's lots of detail on the CCPC website. The idea is that you can't be making misleading claims or false claims about your product, or what it does, in order to persuade the average consumer of that product to make an economic decision or a transaction that they otherwise wouldn't have made. So you're distorting the economic behaviour of the consumer. So the three main prohibited practices are offences, and there's also a list of, I think it's 30 or 31 practices that are always banned no matter what. And the ones that would be quite relevant to food companies would be falsely claiming, that you're signed up to it.
Okay. So if we just go back one, please. Thanks, Jim. So I mentioned that there's no sort of one advertising law. There's lots of other laws that can impact on your advertising and marketing. And just to give a very high-level rundown, obviously intellectual property rights. If you're knocking off somebody's content or songs or images in your ad, you could run into trouble with that. If you're using their registered designs, if you're using brand names that belong to other people. If you're engaging in right over here.
Yes, so these are other laws that affect advertising and marketing. Comparative advertising is one to be aware of. That's where you identify a competitor or its goods and services in your ad, either expressly or by implication. And you probably read on various websites that there's regulations providing all the conditions on which you're allowed to do this, and that it's okay if you follow the following conditions. What I can tell you from practice is that comparative advertising is extremely dangerous for the vast majority of companies in Ireland. Unless you're Ryanair, Dunn's, Aldi, Paddy Power, be very, very careful of engaging in comparative advertising. And I would go so far as to say, don't do it. Irish courts look very narrowly on that. And passing off in terms of common law user rights, sometimes where that arises is in celebrities, and you could be using the voice or character of a celebrity, and that's where that right would rest over there. Obviously, defamation, defaming somebody, or being maliciously false about something. Contract law, holding yourself out as a unilateral contract as implied terms. I know I'm running through this very quickly, but it's just the idea of the slides to show you that there's a lot of stuff that can happen with regard to advertising. Food law, if you're in the food business, you will know about food law. And the forthcoming public health alcohol bill is going to have a significant impact on alcohol products. And then with regard to online advertising, marketing are more below the line activities. There's lots of like consumer rights directive, e-privacy, e-commerce, data protection. So as from 13th of December 2016, if there's one takeaway if you know any food companies, remind them that for all prepackaged food, but more or less all of it, nutrition declaration is going to become mandatory as of 30th December. That's a very significant change and will affect a lot of companies. And then obviously nutrition and health claims, there's a lot of law on that. You can only use certain nutrition and health claims, and there's a European Union website for searching the pre-cleared nutrition and health claims. This all went better in my mind's eye, I can tell you. In terms of alcohol, up to now, it was industry regulatory codes was the main thing to be aware of, but obviously the public health alcohol bill is what's going to be affecting that more significantly. And that's we're going to, in terms of alcohol, we're going to move more towards hard law as opposed to industry codes. In terms of food, the key regulatory codes are the BAI, listed out the codes there, and the ASAI. And then in terms of the ASAI, speaking of which, this is the Advertising Standards Authority for Ireland. This is an independent, self-regulatory body set up and financed by the ad industry. It has a code of standards which is quite complex. Food businesses should get to know it. And the basic idea is that your marcoms need to be legal, decent, honest and truthful, but there's lots and lots of detail in the code. Anybody can make a complaint against your ad. An advertisement is very, very widely defined. There's no fee. There is a complaints procedure, but if it's done as an individual consumer, the complainant is not identified to you, nor in the published report. So an anonymous claim can be made against you, and if the LCI find against you and your ad is in breach, you won't know who made it. And the consequences of being a breach of the code is that it's name and shame. It gets published, and members of the LCI are required not to carry your ad or your promotion. The LCI also has a copy advice service, so you can get your ad checked or looked at beforehand. It's non-binding, it's very helpful. And also the review panel, if you feel that the complaint went against you and you effectively want to appeal it internally. What I would say about the ASAI is that it's 100% non-legal. It's not law. They're not the law. It's an industry code, a voluntary code, but the impact of it can be significant on you. And if you're a food and drink business, get to know the new 7th edition, because there's some major changes in that on food, on advertising to children, on alcohol, and there's lots of information there. 5 minutes. Lots of information there, including on online behavioural advertising. But the 7th code is a step change in my view, it should be looked at quite carefully. And for example, promotional and licensed characters and celebrities will be covered in respect of food that are aimed at kids. Another thing we're going to see in the next while with the ASAI is a focus on bloggers. They've announced that they're going to monitor bloggers. Bear in mind, these are the ASAI is not the law; they're an industry voluntary code. They're going to start monitoring bloggers because I suspect they're concerned that brand owners are putting advertising or marketing communication through blog posts and through key bloggers. And there's a bit of fuss going on online at the moment around blogging and the ASAI, and that would be worth keeping an eye on. But in terms of the volume of complaints last year, 1,122 complaints last year relating to 924 ads, and they were 72% of the complaints were successful. 62% of those complaints related to being misleading. So final wrap-up slide, and apologies for the rushed delivery and the bad acoustics, etc. This was these are my thoughts on how to think about, from a legal perspective, how to think about advertising, which is broadly a broad term. Is, you know, starting point is legal, decent, honest, and truthful, and not to be misleading. This will bring you into legal trouble and/or regulatory trouble. And you know, start from what the product actually offers, the service actually offers, rather than the other way around. And I think if you're making claims, and obviously for food business, making nutritional health claims, you'll already know about this, but any other claims, you know, have some evidence to substantiate it beforehand, and be familiar, particularly with food and beverage, be familiar with industry self-regulatory codes, as well as the law, in particular with regard to specific products. So if your product's organic, or it's olive oil or whatever, you know, there's lots of things you have to be complying with. And also with regard to what type of consumer, is it an arm's length consumer, is it a minor, you know, etc. And again, I can't say it often enough, avoid comparative advertising. The risks of getting your advertising wrong and running into trouble with codes and with law, I suppose, apart from all the criminal offences and all the various really bad things, there's a significant reputation. The reputational and the publicity, and also the damage to your brand for getting these things wrong. Of course, you could be a nice edgy brand and getting into trouble with the ASAI or whatever could be your thing. But in general, you find that it's very hard to manage that kind of reputation, and you know, you lose your sort of brand confidence and consumer confidence over time. So it's worthwhile treating some of the regulatory codes, even if they are voluntary industry, with some respect, and looking at how to get through them. The copy clearance service of the ASI is worth a look for any major campaigns that you're doing. So that's my quick run through advertising law and regulation. If anyone got any questions, feel free to ask me. Thanks very much.
Any questions?